Most cubers are teenagers, and although I hope that changes in the near future, most of us have people we have to convince in order to get us a brand new Waylong V10 or a GAN X. Wait, what do you mean? That Cubes is 6 years old? We've all dealt with the tragic pain of not getting these things, but there are a few simple, effective, and tactical strategies that you can use to get what you want. Disclaimer, only do these things if you are financially stable and you're sure your parents can afford it. Point 1. Know the facts before you make your initial request. Say I wanted a GAN 562, obviously because it's better than whatever Maylong 5x5 I have right now. However, I can't just walk up to my parents and ask them for a GAN 562 and expect them to buy it. They're probably not going to buy a cube for you if all they know about it is that it's $60. Instead, you want to know the facts before you get into the debate. Well, if I had done my research, I would know that the GAN 562 has gotten countless European records. For example, Timon Klosinski has gotten a bunch of European records with the GAN 562. The new ASRs were set on it by Seungkik Nam. Sharon Bihan has gotten a bunch of impressive 5x5 results on this cube. There's a bunch of stuff that I could say in order to back up my point that I need this cube. Well, your parents could say, what about the world record holder? Does he use the GAN 562? Well, no, but that's only because he's not sponsored by GAN. I'm sure that if he had the GAN 562 in his grasp, he would switch to it immediately, just like countless other top solvers. Knowing the facts before you go into the ring will show your parents that this wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment request. It was a request that you did your research on beforehand. Point 2. The amount of time you will spend using the cube. As a big cube main, I spent a lot of time practicing big cubes. In fact, just on the YG-MGC 6x6, I spent over 47 hours on this cube. And that's not including scrambling or warm-up or practicing slow solves. Combining all those things, I might have spent over 60 hours on this thing. So considering the fact that I only spent $26 on the cube, that means that I got a value of 45 cents per hour, which is really good. Considering the level of enjoyment I've gotten from solving this puzzle time and time again, I'd say it was worth it. And I'm sure your parents would too. Point 3. Show your parents the difference between these cubes. You may go to a lot of cubing competitions. If you don't, you definitely should. But at these cubing competitions, you can try out a large variety of Speedcubes galore. In fact, I was able to try the Tornado V3, the Waylong V9, just all sorts of stuff that I wouldn't have tried otherwise. But why are you the only one who's trying it? Maybe your parents should have a try too. Right now, they probably think that, oh, you already have a 3x3 or you already have a 4x4. Why do you need another one? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they're different, and your parents will definitely see that they're different if they're allowed the chance to try it at these cubing competitions. You can also get testimonials from the people who own these cubes. They'll probably be glad to tell you how good they are. Point 4. Be prepared for negotiation. The aforementioned techniques can get you a long way, but they still might not get what you want. That's okay. Aside from a few events, pretty much every single cube has a cheaper version that's almost equally good. If you can't get the GAN 5x5, get the X-Man Hong. If you can't get the GAN 14, get the Waylong V10. Those are both pretty much as good as each other, and you're not really compromising anything by settling for a cheaper cube. However, make sure to not jump to the cheaper options too early or too late. You want to anticipate where the conversation is going. If you know your parents are definitely not going to buy the more expensive option, then you can go to the cheaper cube. But if there's still hope, you might want to keep on arguing your points there. Point 5. Provide something in exchange. Strike up deals with your parents. If they get you this cube, you'll get an A in one of your classes. If they get you this cube, you help them with something they need. Remember, these chores may be temporary, but the cube will last for a very long time. This one is very simple, but it's really effective for you to get what you want. Point 6. Do not ask for every single cube that you see. If you ask your parents for every single cube you see release, sooner or later your request will lose meaning. Your parents will eventually realize that these cubes aren't really that important to you because you'll just forget about them once the new shiny cube releases. Obviously that's not true. If I ask for a GAN 562 and immediately ask for a Maylong V2M, that doesn't mean I don't value the GAN 562 at all. But that is the conveyed message by asking these things in quick succession. You want to pick your battles carefully. Sometimes less is more. Point 7. Do not nag. Okay, I sounded really serious there, but that's the biggest mistake anybody makes when negotiating for new cubes. Sure, it might seem like it might work, but it conveys to your parents that you're not thinking logically, you're thinking emotionally. And that's a bad thing to convey to your parents. And it also provides a negative connotation for cubing to your parents. It makes it look bad, which is not something you want in the long term. Instead, it is much better to take a much more calmer and logical approach when trying to convince your parents to buy you a new cube. Trust me, your parents will appreciate careful discussion much more than noisome discussion. Point 8. Make sure to ask these things during a sale. Timing is everything. Asking for brand new cubes when there's a sale not only makes this less of a commitment for your parents, but also adds a time limit. It makes it so that your parents probably won't forget about this ask in the back of their minds or whatever. And instead, it will be in the front of their minds and they'll put some careful consideration into it. It also shows your financial literacy as well as how passionate you are about this, because you're able to check this again and again to see if there's a sale or not and stuff. Of course, you don't actually have to check it again and again. There are plenty of extensions that can do the job for you, such as, like, I'm not going to name drop any, but like, yeah. If you're watching this video, cubing is probably really important to you. Buying new hardware and, improving at the craft is also probably really important to you. That's the most important thing you want to convey to your parents. Because for most of you, your parents care about you. They'll recognize that this hobby is something that brings you joy and that you cherish. And at the end of the day, isn't bringing you joy what they want? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Like and subscribe and all that. Also, this video is sponsored by the 303 Solvers brand. Join their Discord server. They have tons of great projects coming up. Also, you can access all sorts of behind the scenes content on the 303 Solvers Discord server, including an outtake from this very video. So yeah, join today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.